Okay, so we had some success with Excel 2. Now we're going to move on to Excel 3 exercise. And make sure you watch the video tutorials for each exercise. And when you're ready, download the PDF document, print it so it's in front of you because it does have some pointers that you do require. And then open up this starter file in the middle and take a peek at the answers at the end if you like. So we're going to open up the starter file to get started. Okay, so let's do that. And this is what you get. So notice the titles and a lot of the typing has already been done for you. Of course, you put the date up here using either equal NOW or equal today. The customer score is given to you. So all these numbers are given. I'll explain what they are. When each shipment is processed by the customer, they go on the internet and give a rating for that particular shipment. So this is an average score for all Fixo shipments on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 is the best. And that could be a function of, let's say, the driver, the timing of the shipment, how late was it, how efficiently was it packed, maybe even a function of certain damages through shipment and so on. So Fixo shipments are pretty high in quality and could be a nature of the product itself. Is it damageable? Is it perishable? TrueFair shipments, in fact, have the lowest rating. And again, that could be a number of different factors. So each product group uses a number of logistics people to do their shipments for them, or it could be a common carrier as well. And what we're going to do in this exercise is calculate shipping costs and various other metrics related to shipping. So first of all, 2019 quantity, we already have that number in the forecast tab over here. You see this? So we're going to grab it. I'm going to press equal sign, keep it open, go to forecast, click on 2019 quantity here, press enter, and let's copy that down. And we're going to do that because as my forecast changes over here, I want to be able to forecast shipping costs for 2019 over here. So pretty good quantity, so close to 1,000,000 units for Fixo, over 1,000,000 for Galbar, and so on. So we've been pretty active as a company. Now this is the revenue that would be generated for each of the product groups, in the hundreds of millions. And these three columns represent the actual unit weight, the carton weight, and the pallet weight as well. So 2.5 pounds per unit, so weight per unit, and make sure you right click, insert the comment in there, in this case weight per unit, so that the user knows exactly what WPU means, and do that for all three of these, right? So weight per unit is 2.5 pounds, meaning for every quantity we shipped, it was 2.5 pounds each. UPC is units per carton. So carton is another word for box or container. So imagine a box. For Fixo, we can put 10 of these units in one carton. So you can easily calculate that we're going to have about 81,000 cartons shipped. And then cartons go on what we call pallets. Now, if you don't know what a pallet is, it's usually either a plastic or wooden, usually wooden, or metal frame that goes at the bottom on the floor. It has little slots in it for a forklift to grab onto. And on it, you put all your boxes and hopefully shrink wrap them or tie them with the rope. So in the case of Fixo, we can put 9 cartons on one pallet. Okay, so there's a rating. You can't just keep putting as much as you want. And of course, that's a function of how much the cartons weigh, how safe is it, how high can you stack them before they fall down or cause a safety concern, what's the most efficient way to stack them inside a truck or a container. Look at Wexit. Wexit, we can put 18 cartons on one pallet, and that's probably because they weigh less, a little bit less, but also maybe they're small in size, right? Obviously, they're small in size, and you can put 18 units in one carton as well. So let's calculate the product weight. Now, product weight is, let's take a look. The number of units shipped, which is 819,375, times the weight per unit. So the weight for each individual quantity. And the total product weight is 2,048,000, right? Let's copy that down. And then we want to calculate the number of cartons, okay? Let's just make that column bigger. Now, how do you know how many cartons you need? Well, let's do some calculations here. Just change that. First of all, if you know that there's 10 units that go into one carton, and you know you've shipped 819,000 units, how many cartons would it be? So it's this divided by 10. So let's take a look. 819,000 quantity divided by 10. Then that will tell you that you have 81,938 cartons, right? And that makes sense. Now, the pallets, oh, let's copy that down, sorry. Pallets, if you have 81,000 cartons that you're shipping and one pallet can hold 9 cartons, then, well, you take the number of cartons, divide that by 9 in this case, and you're going to get 9,104. So these are rough numbers. Obviously, a truck's not going to be full all the time, and we can figure that out with our carriers as well. Let's copy that down, and that's a total number of pallets that we're shipping. And of course, this will be for 1 year. Now, don't forget you have to order these pallets, and quite often we don't outright buy the pallets. We kind of rent them from a pallet supplier, right? Now, the truck that was used to ship this quantity, that's the number of the truck. And the way we do this is, let's say in my company, we have this truck is dedicated just for that product, Pixel, right? This truck is dedicated just for that product. Now, I know that's simplified. Normally in a company, you wouldn't just use one truck for one product. You would share the trucks. And that's fine. We'll do that when we do pivot tables. We'll use a multiple trucks for various shipments. But right now, let's keep it simple, right? Now, gross weight is the total weight of all of these shipments. Okay, now what we have to do is take the 2 million pounds of the actual product itself, but we also have to know how much a box weighs. The box itself, think about it, weighs something. Boxes are not like super light, right? So I'm going to tell you each carton or each box weighs 4 pounds. And a pallet itself, if you've ever lifted a pallet, it's not light. I mean, it's heavy wood or plastic. So one pallet weighs 22 pounds, right? 4 pounds per carton and 22 pounds per pallet plus the weight of the product itself. So let's get started over here, right? We're going to do the weight of the product plus, let's figure out, now I'm just going to use brackets. You don't have to, but let's use them. The number of cartons times 4 pounds, right? I told you each carton weighs 4 pounds. Close the bracket. Plus, and we'll do another bracket, number of pallets times 22 pounds. Again, I told you that each pallet weighs 22 pounds. So the weight of the product itself, the weight of the boxes, the cartons, and the weight of the pallets will give you gross weight. Now, I did put brackets here. That's fine to keep them, but if you don't want to put brackets, that's okay too, so I'll just delete them. Because think about it, Excel is going to keep the H5 here. It's going to do I5 times 4, put an answer here, and do J5 times 22 separately because multiplication gets done before. Then it's going to take this, add it with this, and then add it with this. Now let's press enter and see what we get. We get 2.576 million pounds. Let's copy that down. And by the way, you could also do this in kilograms, right? You don't have to do them in pounds. That's a gross weight shipped by this truck. And that's going to be important because trucks do have capacities. In fact, I'll tell you, this truck, 4,000, and this truck, 4,900, in fact, are having more stress put on them throughout the year. And they might require more maintenance and they might require more replacement, right? So now, one truck can carry a maximum weight of 5,000 pounds. Now I'm going to assume that each truck is exactly the same. Okay, it's a mid-sized truck, 5,000 pound truck. So if I knew that, how many trips did this take? I had to ship out 2.576 million pounds in the year. One trip is 5,000 pounds. Okay, assuming we fill up the truck at every trip. So let's take a look. The gross weight divided by 5,000 pounds per trip will tell you that this truck made 515 trips roughly throughout the year. Okay, this truck made 496, but this truck was only utilized for 258 shipments, and that might or might not be efficient. So as a transportation specialist, of course, and a logistics specialist, you want to try to maximize efficiency of these trucks. So for example, you're now going to propose that when this truck is down 2,500, you might shift some of that to shipping out these units here because this truck won't work as hard and this truck will work a little bit harder. A little bit difficult to do, but at least it's a start, right? Now, each truck traveled this many kilometers. Okay, so that number is given to you. And how would we know that? Well, trucks have odometers on them. So when a shipment leaves or at the beginning of the week, at the end of the week, you count how many kilometers have passed and just add it all up. Okay. Now, based on that, we're going to calculate freight cost.